UniceHair sent me their 613 14-inch bob frontal unit, and I'm going to pimp it out with some ash blonde highlights. So if you want to see, just continue watching. So I'm using Revlon ColorSilk. I'm using their ultra light ash blonde, their medium ash blonde, and their light brown ash blonde, I think. I will leave it in the description box down below. So what I'm doing here is just doing some sectioning in the frontal. I want to have some highlights that are symmetrical along the middle part, so I'm just going to braid off some pieces that will be dyed the lightest shade, and you'll see in the video once I do it, but I'm just sectioning and braiding off the pieces that I want to highlight. If you haven't already, go ahead and click subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on your post notifications so you can see every time I post a new video. So what I did, I created a triangle along the middle part in the front, and that's going to be my first little highlighted piece at the front. Then I have two like parallel braids along the middle part on each side, and then one in the back, as you can see here. Then what I'm doing now is just sectioning off the frontal, just the left side of the middle part and the right side of the middle part, just because I want to have it sectioned for when I'm dyeing it later on. And I'm also just going to create a section in the back. I did about 4 sections in the back overall, but I just started off by sectioning off I started off just by creating 1 section in the back, and then I just created more sections as I worked my way up to the frontal, instead of like creating 4 sections first and then, So I think the important thing is to make sure that you're picking hair from the same track and you have like a clean space once you create a section. So what I'm doing is I'm going to separate each section into 4 smaller sections and just dye in those 4 smaller sections. I'm going to do the bob and weave motion. I don't know what it's called, but I do it in all of my videos when I'm doing highlights. And I'm going to separate the pieces that I weave out. Then I'm going to dye the hair that's left out. I'm going to ombre it. So I'm going to put the medium ash blonde at the top from the roots to about halfway down. Then I'm going to put the ultralight ash blonde along the ends from the middle to the ends. And you want to kind of smudge where the 2 dyes meet in the middle, so there's like a nice gradient effect and there's no like harsh lines. Then I'm going to put some foil paper and bring down the sections that I weaved out, and I'm going to dye those ultralight ash blonde. So I'll have some highlights coming from the roots and it will all blend into the ultralight ash blonde at the ends. In all, I did 3 different dyeing techniques, and this is the first one. I did ombre and then highlights. Then for this section here, I'm just doing ombre. So I'm going to put the medium ash blonde from the roots to about halfway down, then the ultralight ash blonde from halfway down to the ends. And I didn't show this, but then for the other sections, you can do just the medium ash blonde. And this will just give your unit a lot of dimension. You can just alternate or just do it randomly, or you can do just one if you want to just do whatever you want. It will look pretty either way. Also important, you want to make sure that you don't really need to, but if you want to be extra neat, you can go ahead and put the medium ash blonde from the roots when you start highlighting, because it will be hard to do when you're doing the first part of the dye job. So for the frontal, I'm going to split that half into 2 smaller halves. So I'll have 4 quarters in the frontal, but I'm also going to create just like about an inch of, you'll see it here, I can't really explain it, but I'm creating just like an inch of hair, or sectioning off about an inch of hair to be dyed last. So it includes the braids, so about an inch of hair from the middle part on each side, including the braids. Then for the 2 quarters that I created first, I'm going to do highlights and ombre for this one, the one that's closest to the ear, like I did for my first thing that I dyed. And then for the next quarter, I'm just going to do ombre. Now once I got to the frontal, I stopped using the medium ash blonde and I only used the light ash brown and the ultra light ash blonde. So in the back sections, I have highlights with the ultra light ash blonde and the medium ash blonde. But for the frontal, I have it highlighted and ombred with the light ash brown and the ultra light ash blonde. Now what I'm doing is I'm just dyeing all of my braided pieces in the ultra light ash blonde. So you'll just see me take them out and dye them, and I'm going to leave all of the other pieces to be dyed last. So for the pieces that aren't braided but are along the center part, I'm just going to ombre. And for that braided piece in the back, I'm going to dye it the ultra light ash blonde. It will be a highlighted piece because it is in the lightest color. And you want to wrap these in foil so they don't get stained with the other dyes, since you want those to be really like contrasting pieces. And while I'm highlighting the braided pieces, I do also use a toothbrush and just try to get the roots with the light ash brown, but I really didn't do that good of a job, so I would leave it out. It really wasn't necessary, and honestly, you might just stain the lace instead of getting the look that you wanted, unless you're like a super professional, which I am not. Now again, for the pieces that are not braided and are along the middle part, I'm going to ombre them. I'm going to start from the roots with the light ash brown to about halfway down. Then from halfway down to the ends, I'm going to put the ultra light ash blonde and kind of smudge where they meet so there's no harsh line. This is how it looks once I finish dyeing, and I think I let it sit for probably like 25 minutes max. Literally 25 minutes max. You really don't need to let it sit that long because it's 6:30 in here. So I just curled the hair because that's the best way to see dimension in hair, and just look at all of the highlights on the curling rod. It's so cute. And look how shiny this hair is. UNice is literally the GOAT. The information for this hair will be in the description box, and you can also purchase this unit from me if you want to. I will color it just like I did hair. The link is always in the description box for Hair Sensation if you want to purchase a unit just like this, or any unit that is also on my page. I'm just using some mousse to smooth down the flyaways, and that's it guys. It's like super easy. It really didn't take me long. It took me probably like 3 hours to dye it. No, it took me like maybe 2 hours to dye it. Super easy, super cute, and super like different, you know? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, go ahead and click subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know if you tried in the description box, or if you have any other questions. I'll be happy to help you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and check out another video on my channel, and have a great day guys.